Hey guys! Welcome to Planes Fly Here, the official podcast of the Northwest Arkansas National Airport. My name is Olivia Moore.
And I'm Heather Anderson. This podcast will take you behind the scenes from how XNA operates to current and future events.
Wheels up!
Hey guys, welcome back to the third episode of Planes Fly Here.
Oh yeah.
Heather, how are you?
Good. I'm kind of freaking out that it's the end of August already.
I know, but I'm so ready for fall. I'm over the 100-degree weather.
Yeah, I love pumpkin everything. So I know that sounds like a basic girl right there, but...
No, but it's perfect. It's basic for a reason.
Yeah, well, also my birthday's in October, so
yeah.
I have a little bias towards the fall.
And I actually get married this October.
So exciting.
So there's a lot of big things happening. I know, so I get married at the end of October, and then November 1st is our 25th.
I know.
XNA's 25th anniversary.
We won't tell you what's happening yet. Just,
big things.
We'll let you know in the later episodes.
Just a little surprise for you guys.
Yeah. Well, today we have our fire chief.
Fire chief.
Is it chief of fire or fire chief?
He always says fire chief, but chief of fire works just as fine.
I guess so, yeah. So we'll have Chad Breeden here, and let's get to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, welcome to the podcast. Are you excited?
Very excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Chad Breeden, and I am the fire chief here at XNA.
XNA, Northwest Arkansas National Airport.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Planes fly here.
Planes fly here.
There you go.
I think that's the first time anybody has ever used that phrase without mentioning that it is the name of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's gold star for you.
Great. So let's start simple. So what does the fire chief do at the airport?
Well, the fire chief oversees the operation of the fire department and coordinates all emergency response in and around the airport. So anytime someone calls 911, the fire department responds.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. How long have you been at the airport?
I've been here for 19 years.
Wow.
And how long have you been firefighter?
I've been a firefighter for 23.
Wow. Okay, so you want to walk us through a little bit of your background?
Yeah, so I started out when I was 18. I joined where I lived, the local volunteer fire department. And from there, I just fell in love with it. And I had the opportunity to go to the fire academy through the volunteer department. They sent me, and I was able to obtain all my certificates through the fire academy. And then I started applying when I turned 21, and the first place that called and offered me a job was XNA. So here I am.
Cool. 19 years later.
Yes.
So a lot of the firefighters that are here, are they new? Like they've come from other fire stations?
So it's a mixture of both. So we have some that are retired from other fire departments that have wanted to continue their fire service with a different retirement. We have some that are brand new off the street that have joined. So it's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of both.
So what is kind of the difference between an airport fire department and like a municipal city one?
So there's a few differences. We do everything that the city does, pretty much like the structure fires, the vehicle accidents, the medical calls. What makes us more unique is we deal with the aircraft.
Right.
So it's a more specialized field. You have to know the ins and outs of the aircraft, all the schematics, the passenger load, fuel load, and just basically responding to an aircraft incident is way different than responding to like your normal house fire, structure fire.
So how do you prepare for that?
So we do our yearly training we have a trainer that comes out of Missouri. So we do our yearly fire training with that. It's a mobile trainer. It's like a mock-up of an aircraft.
Oh, that's cool.
And so we do that yearly. We're mandated by the FAA to do certain subject areas of aircraft training and aircraft fire and rescue. So we have to maintain that and keep that yearly. So there's extra training on top of our additional normal training we have to do for as far as with our medical and all the other training.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Do you have any different equipment at the airport than you would at a city fire station?
So we do. We have a few of the tools. We have a unique tool called a SPAT tool. So basically what that is a pack hammer. So that is made to pierce the side of an aircraft.
Right.
Because the side of the aircraft, the skin of the aircraft is a little different. So we have to have special tools to be able to gain access to that aircraft and either to rescue people or put fires out. One of our trucks is equipped with what they call a turret, which is a high reachable extendable turret, and so it is designed to pierce the side of an aircraft as well to gain access and to extinguish any fires that may be on board an aircraft.
Wow. Yeah, so obviously the fire trucks look a lot different. They're a lot bigger. I like to call it like those trucks from the Avatar movie. That's what they look
I
like
don't know
to me.
that.
Yeah, they look like some from NASA or space,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Space
Isn't it
vehicle.
like a transformer too? Like they've based one of the transformers
They
off
did.
of it.
They did. Yes,
Yeah,
they did.
but it's red in the transformer.
It's red in the transformer.
Yeah, so why don't you
Yes.
describe some of the trucks?
So some of the trucks. So we have 3 what we call crash trucks, ARF trucks, which ARF stands for Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting. Okay, so they're a little different. So one of them is what we call a 6x6. So it carries more agents, so more water, more of our foam or dry chemicals. Our 2 other trucks are the smaller versions of that truck, and they carry less agents equipment, but they do the same thing. They basically
And they're yellow.
and they're yellow.
I was about to say, you forgot one of the most
Yeah,
important
or
things.
actually lime green.
They're-
to be
is that
exact,
what
yes.
It's called lime green.
Yes.
So why is it lime green?
So that has to do with funding. Okay. So if you receive federal funding, that's one of the mandates that the FAA requires, that they have to be that color. And the reason that is, it contrasts with the environment. It sticks out when you're out there on the runway in the airfield. So it's a safety thing.
Right.
It's a safety
It's
thing.
like the vest that like ramp agents wear, right?
Mhm.
The is it high vis or
High visibility.
yeah?
There you
Gotcha.
go. You got it.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you
got
go.
it. You're on the right track. You're on the right
Perfect.
track.
So why don't you walk us through like a typical schedule for a firefighter at the airport?
Okay, so our firefighters work a 48-96 schedule,
Okay.
which they work 2 days on and they're off for 4. And that's a rotating schedule. So we have 3 shifts, an A, B, and a C. So someone's always here 24/7. But those shifts they rotate every 2 days. A new shift comes on, and it's just a cycle, 48-96 cycle. They work 10 days out of the month.
Gotcha. And is that standard for all fire stations?
That is the new trend. So the trend before was the 24/48, 1 day on, 2 days off.
Gotcha.
And the trend now has switched over to the 48-96.
Is there any reason for that?
And it's a lot. It has to do a lot of the like sleep deprivation, more time off to get rest. They did studies nationwide. This is nationwide, not just in the area, and it's a safer schedule. They claim.
What's your favorite thing about being a firefighter?
Oh wow. Okay, favorite thing I got. Does that have to be just be one?
No, yeah.
You gotta be normal. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I love I love helping people. Okay, it's always been a passion for me to just always have that drive to just want to be a firefighter, give back to the community, help people, and it's just the excitement. It's always different. It's not routine.
Right.
It's always different. You don't when you come in to shift, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And plus the community of the other firefighters, I feel like that adds to it.
Yeah,
because a lot of them live together. And
they do, and the camaraderie.
Yeah,
The camaraderie. Yeah. It's a second family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
plus you have the best view in the airport.
absolutely,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't complain with that.
Yeah.
Right there by the airfield, we get to see the airplanes just like front view.
Exactly, they taxi right there.
They do taxi right by the fire station. We even wave at them every now and then.
Oh, yeah. You try to get them to honk their horn or something?
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do they have horns?
No,
I don't know.
they don't.
Okay, I don't know.
Aircraft. But that would be pretty cool.
That would be
That would
cool.
be really cool.
Do they not, or have you never tried?
Well, I don't know. That's the question. Maybe we ought to dig into that, do some research, and see. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
awesome.
So y'all are also EMTs.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct. Yes.
So you don't just respond to fires.
No, we are what they call a all-hazard agency.
Okay.
Okay. So we respond to any emergency and we're trained for those emergencies, whether it be a car accident, someone falls down the escalator, someone gets trapped in the escalator or
Right.
elevator. So you name it. I mean that we respond, and we're trained to respond to any hazard that arises.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Do you have any advice for maybe some listeners who are interested in becoming a firefighter?
Absolutely. I say join your local volunteer department. Get in the door that way. You may have the opportunity like I did and be able to go to the fire academy and start your career that way. Highly recommend going to to school to be an EMT, go to college to be an EMT. It's a semester long, so it doesn't take that long to get. I just say start that way and move forward.
Can you tell us like maybe a weird call that you've ever been on, or time that you were kind of nervous about a call?
No, I wouldn't say I'd be nervous about it, but we did get an interesting call here a few years back. We had a lady get her dress stuck in an escalator.
Oh my!
It was a unique call, and so we
Worst nightmare.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we ended up having to take the escalator apart to save her dress. She was literally stuck in there, so that was a challenge. It was a challenge and kind of a unique call that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I wear a dress to work, I'm always nervous going up the escalator, ever since I heard that story. But they're still convenient, though.
Absolutely.
So that's interesting. So in that specific instance, did you work closely with like maintenance and operations?
We actually did. We called upon our maintenance department because of the complexity of the call. To take the escalator apart, I mean that took a lot of work to do that. So and extra tools. So we did call upon our maintenance department to assist us with that call. So like,
besides calls like that, do you work closely with the maintenance and ops a lot?
Oh, absolutely. Just depending on
what it is.
What it is. It's circumstance, whatever circumstance it may be.
Yeah, we're hoping to have Alex on here. He's the director of ops and maintenance, and he can tell his side of things, as because don't they, if ever there was a plane crash, they're involved in it too, right?
Absolutely.
Ops? Yeah.
Everybody's involved. Ops, maintenance, even our admin, and in the police department as well.
Right.
Gotcha. So I want to kind of hear about how you respond to specific calls.
Okay.
Is there any kind of sector of the airport where you respond differently to calls?
Oh, absolutely. So we have, for instance, our parking garage. So that's obviously our trucks and our engine cannot get into that parking garage.
Right.
So we have a quick response vehicle. It's basically a rescue truck that carries water, our foam, our Purple K, our rescue equipment, and as well as our medical equipment, and we're able to access the garage that way. And we've had people get stuck in elevators in the parking garage, and we've had people slip and fall, and we had to gain access to those patients, so we're able to do that. So that takes a unique response.
So what are some of like the required things that y'all have to do as firefighters? Like I think I heard, you have to be anywhere in, 3 minutes?
So any aircraft emergency that we get toned out to, we have to be midfield within 3 minutes, and that is a FAA standard or a requirement, if you will. So we have to be midfield in 3 minutes. So we have to be out of the station within a minute.
And dressed, right?
And dressed, and yes.
Wow.
Do you have to practice that a lot?
We do. We train on that quite frequently.
So these trucks are very big. How fast can they go on the runway?
So they actually, once again, they're mandated by FAA. They have to be able to exceed or be able to meet 85 miles an hour.
Wow.
Yes.
Especially with like gallons and gallons of water.
Yes.
And you said Purple K. What's Purple K?
So that's our dry chemical. So it's what you see in like a fire extinguisher, the dry chemical.
Oh, okay.
It's basically a really fine powder, and what it does, it basically robs the oxygen from the fire, and we're able to extinguish the fire. But going back to the trucks, it takes a lot of skill to be able to maneuver those trucks. So we really train our firefighters on vehicle operations and driving the apparatus, because it is different.
So I'm gonna butcher this term, but I have seen y'all train with the spike thingy.
Yes.
So why don't you explain that a little bit?
The A-turret, like I said earlier, the high reachable extendable turret.
Yes.
So we have a thing called a pass trainer, which is it's a mock-up of the side of the aircraft skin, and we were able to do a mock scenario, respond to an aircraft, and be able to operate that A-turret and show our skills that way, and practice our skills and hone those skills in.
Okay, so walk us through what an aircraft alert would be like.
Okay, so once our control tower receives notification of an aircraft in distress or an aircraft declaring an emergency, they pick up what they call the crash phone, and it goes directly to CENTCOM, which is the county dispatch. And in turn, we will respond accordingly. So we're going to our trucks, we're putting our gear on, and we're responding out as we're getting the information. We're responding out of the station onto the airfield to our standby positions. until we hear further. Now, if the aircraft is going to be landing on what runway depends on where we're going to be staged at on the airfield. Okay, and if there is a crash, then we're going to respond to where that crash is.
Gotcha. So those standby locations, where are they?
So they're on the north or the south end of the airfield, and we put they're different depending on where the aircraft's landing. There's different spots on the airfield or locations that we'll stage our trucks in a safe place.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you want to make sure your firefighters are also safe.
Absolutely, and safety is number one.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So would you also be in that standby area with maintenance and police, or would they be in different areas?
We're going to be different areas. The apparatus needs to be on the airfield, and I'm going to be staged at a different area to set up the command post, and that's where all the other units will come once the alert unfolds.
Yeah, and you work closely with the director of ops and chief of operations to kind of have this plan in place. Right?
Absolutely, and we test that yearly.
Gotcha.
We have what they call a tabletop, and then every 3 years we do a full triennial exercise where we do a full mock-up crash, and we bring all of our mutual aid partners in and all of our key players into that, and we put our airport emergency plan in place.
And that's this year?
Actually, next year.
Next year, okay, 2024.
I'm sorry, 2025.
2025, Gotcha.
I apologize.
We're living in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Now, next year will be just a tabletop exercise.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Nice. But that's good to have that practice because, thankfully we don't have those alerts often at all.
Yes,
so,
it's something we do not want.
Yeah. So, but you still have to practice because practice. Be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. It's protection through cooperation.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to say? Any shout outs you want to give?
No, but I want to thank you for having me on this podcast. It's been a pleasure, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're happy to have you. I don't know if y'all can tell, but me, Heather, and Chad have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
And we have a great view right now.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Not as good as your office, though. Not as good as the fire station,
that's
never.
True. That's true.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Well, that was super interesting to learn about a fire department at an airport.
I know, there's so many intricacies that I had never thought about before I started working here, and Chad is just the best.
Yeah, he is. So, employment time, we've been having a great summer.
We've been having a great year, Heather.
That's true.
I mean, so we have our employments for the month of July. In terms of July 2023, XNA had 93,860 employments. That increased by 2.9% over July 2019, which was, as I'm sure you know, the airport's best year. It was pre-COVID. So we're up 2.9% for July, and we're excited to see those August employments. But for now, we're just excited that we keep seeing a trend upward for employments and that people are still wanting to get out there and travel.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, Labor Day is this weekend. Well, Labor Day weekend is this weekend. So hopefully we get to see that number spike a little bit more this as people travel.
I know that Memorial Day was kind of huge.
Right.
So we're hoping that we continue to see that trend for Labor Day.
Yeah. Do you have any plans for Labor Day?
Yeah, girl. Good segue. I'm actually going on my bachelorette trip.
Oh,
and we are actually taking the direct flight from Allegiant to Destin. All of my bridal party is going through XNA, so shameless plug for that direct destination from Allegiant. And it's super easy, hour and a half flight. So I'm actually going to work that day, and I'm just going to hop on a plane, and in an hour and a half, I'm going to be on a beach.
Girl boss.
So, yeah, that's my Labor Day weekend.
Awesome. Well, I guess current happenings, I feel like the front of the airport has been just booming. The changes through the construction are just, boom.
I know. It's just completely exploded.
I know.
I felt like there was nothing, and all of a sudden I woke up and I looked at the front of the terminal, and all of a sudden we're actually expanding vertically, which is kind of huge.
I know, we got the bones going.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our little castle out front, which is the elevator shaft. But we like to call it the X&A Castle. But yeah, no, yesterday I saw them putting up the steel for expanding that front.
Yeah, and so they've completed all of the utility tie-ins and underground work.
Yeah.
And also they have completed the terrazzo at the exit point.
Yes, yeah. And I'm excited to see more of that because I think we're getting rid of all the carpet and putting terrazzo in.
In the downstairs lobby, yeah, we are. And then something super exciting is that it is projected within the next month that the unmanned exit at checkpoint is going to be installed.
Oh, super exciting.
I'm ready to not hear
the sirens.
The sirens go off over and over. So I'm so excited for that.
You know what? Efficiency. Well, we also... You know what else is booming?
What?
The runway rovers.
Oh, I know. I'm glad you're
I
talking
feel
about
like, oh my goodness, like everybody's like, therapy dog program. What? Yeah, so yes, this month we had KNWA come and do a story. It should be up by now.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, so if you don't know what the Runway Rovers are, it's our therapy dog program. They're all volunteers, and we have about 10 dogs, I believe. Yeah, so some of the main ones, Holly and Phantom. We have our big fluffy English Mastiff named Pixie. She is the who of the group. But yeah, so if you have a therapy dog and want to volunteer at the airport, we'll link that application down below. That's on our website.
Right, yeah, and flying can be super stressful.
Yes.
Not even to mention first time flying. So the fact that we have these certified therapy dogs that walk around the terminal just to kind of like give some comfort to the passengers who may be kind of struggling and, you know, need that sense of comfort for them is one of my favorite things about X&A.
Yeah, and the people that are always traveling, they may have a dog at home and it makes them miss their dog. They just need those cuddles a little bit.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so it's time for Cool Your Jets.
Everybody's favorite segment.
Yeah, well, this month I haven't really had anything out of the ordinary come, but something cool last month was we had a camp come through called She Can.
Oh, cool. What's She Can? She Can Camp.
Yeah, well, I guess it's C.A.N.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, She Can. Well, it's basically... the Smithsonian Air and Aviation Museum, they come to Northwest Arkansas every summer and they put on this camp. It's a free camp for these middle schoolers, and they get to do all things aviation and STEM, so like engineering, just kind of to get them interested in what they may want to do in the future.
That is so cool for especially kids that age to be able to go to a camp and talk about aviation.
Yeah.
So what did they do at X&A?
Yeah, so obviously they toured the terminal. We took them over to the fire station. We got to go up in the tower. I think the tower was one of their most favorites.
Really?
Yeah, they had so many questions for our air traffic controllers, and they were so sweet about it too.
Oh, good. Yeah, that tower is super cool, but those stairs, I can't.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least we're getting a new one with an elevator.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think one thing that was super cool is we had a C-130 and a Black Hawk. That they usually come in to X&A, over to RJC, but this was they were all women crews.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
So they got to kind of inspire these kids, and we got to go inside the C-130, and they got to go inside the Black Hawk, even though there's not a whole lot a C-130 has. But if you don't know what a C-130 is...
I don't.
It's one of the bigger Air Force planes. They do a lot of cargo in it. I don't know. Yeah. There's also C-17s, which is bigger than the C-130s, but we mostly get the C-130s here.
So, did you go in the C-130?
I did.
And was it just huge?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Like, bigger than I could imagine?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like slightly bigger than a commercial plane.
Well,
believe.
okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
I mean, not like the big 900 series. I think they're I don't know, there's the big like the European planes like that take people over. I want to say like British Airways,
like international flights.
Yeah, some of those planes are gigantic.
I know. Yeah. But and I know that I'm sure you took some pictures of that. I'm sure that's on our socials.
Oh yeah, definitely. We took a big group picture. You can see inside the C-130 plane. But yeah, we'll link that below too for our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into Planes Fly Here. If you like the podcast, be sure to follow us on whatever you're listening to right now and drop us a rating.
You can also keep up to date with what's happening at the airport by following us on social media at FlyXNA. Thanks, guys.